Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And my name is Mia. For those of you who don't know, I own a small business, Blush Designs Co., where we sell bright, happy items that promote your self-growth and help you along your self-improvement journey. So if you want to check that out, you can down in the description box. In today's video, it's a bit different. We're in a different area. Normally I'm at the office doing a bunch of stuff for my business, but I've gotten a lot of requests both on here and on my Instagram to talk about some of the stuff you might need to know when starting a business. So that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. I have my laptop here that I made some notes that I'm going to read off. So if I'm looking down, it's just because I'm reading off my laptop. We'll just get right into it. I just want to say that I am not a professional by any means. This is just stuff that I've learned along the way, running my own online shop through doing a lot of research and just basically trial and error. So that's where my knowledge comes from. That's kind of my disclaimer, I guess. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you some advice on what I have done and what has worked for me. So some things that I do might not work for you, but let's just get right into it. The first thing that I have written down is plan. The planning stage of starting a business is really important because it sets the foundation of your business. What are the values that you believe in? What kind of values do you want your business to portray? I think like your mission statement and identifying your target audience is probably one of the most important things in the planning stage. Also, figuring out what exactly you want your business to sell, whether you're doing a service-based business or a product-based business, you want to figure out like how you're going to make money. What is the main product or service that you're going to be offering to your target audience? Having that kind of brainstorming session before you even like start the actual business part is really important. Me personally, I kind of like skipped over that when I really first started my business because I kind of started it out of a whim, but I really wish that I did do this planning stage because now like 2 years later, I'm trying to like hone down on that whole like mission and values part of my business. So I would advise you to do that before you actually start your business because it helps you stay aligned with your mission and your values. If you establish that at the beginning, you're able to follow that kind of like guideline along your business, and it's a little bit harder to steer off track if you have that like base versus if you don't have that base, you kind of like are just going through it blindly, if that makes sense. Also, identifying like what sets your business apart from the other businesses in your niche, I guess. So say for example, I am in kind of like the stickers, stationery, apparel kind of thing. Like there is a niche for that. I don't know what exactly it's called, but I'm in that kind of realm, and I have to identify like what sets my business apart from all the other businesses that I see around me. What is that like wow factor about your business that makes a customer or a potential customer want to purchase from you or get a service from you? That's also really important. I wish I did that when I first started versus, a couple months, a year later into my business. Another thing is that if you're in Canada, I don't know how it works in the States, but so I'm only going to speak for Canada, is register your business name. That way nobody else can use your business name. It's really important that you register your business name. You don't have to register for an HST number right off the bat. In my opinion, I didn't do that, and I don't necessarily think you need to do that right away, but definitely register your business name. I think that logo and branding is also really important in the planning stages. So, figuring out your business name, figuring out what kind of colors you want to represent your brand, how are you going to encapsulate your vision of how you want people to see your business as, picking the colors, designing a logo, or getting somebody to make a logo for you. Those are different things that you need to think about in the planning stage. Next is researching. So researching and planning kind of go together, but I have them kind of in two different steps because they're a little bit different, but you'll see when I explain. Google is literally going to be your best friend throughout probably your entire life because Google has a lot of helpful answers and articles and videos that you can use. Google is free. You can go on there and search whatever you want and you can find stuff. That is how I have researched a lot of my information to do with my business. I have found my manufacturers that way. I have found new product ideas that way. I have found the answers to my shipping questions. I have found the answers to literally so many things, and all I had to do was Google a couple words, search through a couple of pages, and I found the answer I was looking for. So before you go and ask another small business owner who's their manufacturer or where did they get this from, try Googling it first, and then if you still can't find the answer, then you can research elsewhere. But first, take it to Google because Google has literally all the answers that you could look for. You just have to know how to search. Another thing that I did in like the researching stage and that I advise other people to do is research research other businesses that are in your niche and see what they're doing. Use it as a little bit of inspiration to see what their feed looks like, and how they're promoting their products, what their website looks like, and you can use that as inspiration. Do not copy them and do not like copy and paste exactly what they're doing, but it's helpful to get a little bit of inspiration on what others are doing in your same niche so that you can kind of take it and put your own spin on it, create your own content, create your own website, your own branding to your own business, but use that as a little bit of inspiration. Another thing is deciding if you want to have your own website with Shopify or Wix or any other web hosting platforms, or if you want to start off on Etsy. I started on Etsy back in 2020. Etsy brings in your own traffic. They do the work for you. The only thing that you really have to do on Etsy is post your products and just make sure that you got some SEO keywords in there, and then they basically bring customers to you. There's not a lot to it. Really, it's super easy, and as a starting business, Etsy is a pretty good idea. The only thing about Etsy is that their fees are kind of really high for businesses, especially like mine, who sell like really low cost items. So like stickers, $5 for a sticker, and then Etsy takes like so much of that money, and so sometimes hard to see a profit. But Etsy is a really good option aside from the fees to bring in customers, and then eventually you'll be able to maybe accumulate a bunch of loyal customers and have them over on your social media. And then when you move over to your own website, you will have some customers already from Etsy who will now come with you over to your new website. That's what I did, and it worked out really well for me. However, I still have my Etsy shop open. I do keep it open. I don't promote it at all. I really encourage people to shop on my website because it directly supports me and it doesn't have as many fees, so I'm able to put more back into my business. Basically, after that like little rant, it's really important to figure out what platform you want to use. There's a lot of helpful articles online that list the pros and cons between Etsy and a different website, or between like Shopify and Wix. So I will link some of those articles down below that you can go and take a look at if you're looking to start your business from the ground up. I use Shopify now for my website and I love it. There's so many good tools. I used Wix in the past and I loved it, but it didn't have as many e-commerce tools as I hoped. But I'm not the e-commerce platform guru, so I'll leave some articles down below for you to look at if that's what you're thinking about. Next is finances. So spend a little bit of time thinking about how are you going to make your business profitable? What are the profit margins that you would like to see? How much does it cost to make your product? Or how much do you want to get paid an hour if you're providing a service? And if you're doing products, how much does it cost to manufacture? Factor in shipping if you have to ship the items, how long it takes to make it. I'm going to link a really helpful tool that I love so much. It's a profit margin calculator. It shows you like 4 different areas and how to calculate some of the calculations for it. And it will tell you if you want to mark up your product by 50%, how much profit you'll make and what you need to sell it for. It factors in website hosting fees, labor cost, material cost, and like shipping and marketing material costs. So it's really helpful. I use it myself to help me get an idea of how to price my products. So I'll link that down below, and it's very useful, especially if you already have a business and you want to maybe adjust some of your margins. Really helpful. You also need to factor in some of your like recurring monthly costs or yearly costs. You also need to factor in if you're deciding to take your business full time or if you're taking it as a side hustle, especially if you're going to be selling wholesale as well. There's a lot of different finance and pricing things that you need to consider. So I would suggest that you do kind of like a spreadsheet and see what you're looking at to run your business on a month-to-month basis. Is it feasible? Can you keep up with it? And also another thing to take into account is that you might not see profit for like the first, couple months to a year to like a couple years of your business. I can't sit here and tell you that you're going to make a profit right off the bat, because I know for me, I didn't. Another thing that you also need to take into account with finances is how much have you saved towards spending on maybe some of the big products that you need in order to make your stuff. So for example, I'm going to use my shop as an example. I had to buy a Cricut machine because I wanted to make stickers, and that was the first thing that I made. And a Cricut machine was like, I want to say like $275 at the time. So I had to save up enough money for the Cricut machine. Then I had to save up enough money to buy sticker paper. I had to buy the laminate for the stickers. I needed to buy a printer. So calculate what kind of startup costs you're looking at and see, if you have to save for it, if you already have savings for your business. Just kind of see how much you're gonna have to spend upfront in order to actually get your business started. Especially if you're gonna be shipping stuff, you need to think about shipping. You know, if you're shipping stickers, you need to get envelopes, you'll need some business cards, and you have to decide whether you want to do that stuff in-house or if you want to outsource it to like a company like Vistaprint, or if you want to make them at home with your printer. So there's a lot of different things financially that you have to think about. I think that's one of the most confusing and stressful parts about owning a business for me is the financial part. I have a humongous spreadsheet with a bunch of my expenses, and I have also a little section that shows me my monthly costs to run my business. That means the rent for my studio, my website, although it's yearly, I still calculate it on a monthly basis. Next is like a pre-launch, building the hype for your business and starting to build that like excitement to launch your business. My first tip in a pre-launch is to start an email list. This will help you gain a lot of prospective customers, and they will most likely see your email, open it, read it, and maybe get a click and go to your website on launch day. With Shopify, this is not sponsored by the way, but with Shopify, you can create like a password protected page where people can click on the link and it takes them to your website, but they don't actually get to see your official website. They just see a password page where it says be the first to know when we launch, and they can enter in their email and it will sign them up to your email list. When I did a rebrand and move from Wix to Shopify, it was really helpful to have new customers sign up with my email list so that when I launch, I can send them a discount code and they might be more inclined to make a purchase on launch day. Another thing is to build your socials before you launch. This one is really important because social media today is very powerful and it can gain you a lot of customers, a lot of eyes on your page, and those are really great things when you own an e-commerce business. Build an Instagram, build your TikTok, and build a Pinterest. I really like Pinterest. I think it's kind of underrated, but I love using it. On your social media, you want to connect with your customers, and you have to also decide if you want to have your face behind the brand or if you want to keep your face off the brand and just it be your business without showing your face. So you kind of have to decide that. I like showing my face. It makes me connect more with my customers and it allows me to, I guess, humanize my brand a little bit. So I prefer when, you know, I can connect with other people through their business, but I get that that's not everybody's cup of tea, so you know, you have to decide whether you want to do that or don't. If you're one of those people who are going to share your face on your social media for your business, you want to talk about how you started this business, why you're starting this business, why should people purchase from you, connect with your customers. Another thing is to take breaks. So building a business is not easy in the slightest. There are ups and there are downs, a lot more downs for me. I constantly question if this is even the right thing, if I should be doing this. But sometimes when I start to like feel like I'm failing, a lot of the times it's because I'm super burnt out, I have no energy, and I haven't taken a break in like 55,000 years. So taking breaks is super useful, allows you to recharge and allows you to kind of realign your vision back to, you know, building your business. But you need to take a break every once in a while and just take care of yourself and make sure that you're listening to your body, moving your body, and not just eat, sleep, breathe business. And you need to make sure that you're taking care of your mental and physical health. It's really important when building a business because you cannot run the business if you're like super drained, lethargic, and haven't eaten in like 3 days. So take breaks, please. I should be listening to myself because I don't take enough breaks and it sometimes costs me a lot of physical and mental strain. So take breaks. I'm telling myself this at the same time. Another thing when starting and running your business is to think about what kind of content you're going to post. Authenticity is really important, and a lot of people can kind of tell when you're being authentic versus when you're not. So just be yourself. If you're going to be sharing your face online as like the face behind the business, have fun with it. I like to post like days in my life content, and I like to post like small business vlogs on my Instagram and my TikTok. I think it's a good way for people to see like behind the scenes of your business. If you have handmade products, it's so fun for people to see how they're made, and you gain prospective customers that way. So those are my main tips in order to start a business, what you should consider when you're gonna plan out your business idea, and some good apps and tools and resources that you can use during the course of your business planning. If I did leave anything out, which I definitely did, I know I didn't cover nearly all the topics that there is to talk about for this one topic. So if you do have a specific question, please leave it down in the comments below and I will accumulate more questions and put it into the next video that I make about this. But for now, this is kind of the main stuff I wanted to touch on. If you found this video helpful and enjoyed watching, please make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss another video. Please make sure to be kind to yourself today and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I don't wanna